Welcome to Just Truth again. My name is Norma and I'm joined in the studio by Ashburn Holder. So we want to talk about three particular issues today. One, Shuan Bailey. Two, the second issue that we'd like to speak about is the success of the jazz night that we had last week. The third issue is Black History Month. As we know, October is set for Black History Month, and we want to discuss this. One, why a month? Two, why not the whole year? And three, is it really racist? So, welcome. So, first of all,
right. As Norma said, my name is Ashburn Holder, and as she said, what we're going to talk about this evening. However, I will touch on last week on Windrush as well. That's one subject that will not go away, so we'll have a quick touch on that. We also will touch about the prison issue that the prisoners face in the island of Wight. We'll have a touch on that as well. And we also will touch on one or two different issues that sort of have come to the forefront. We'll discuss tonight, depending on time. So back to Norma.
Okay, so first of all, hearty congratulations to Shuan Bailey as being the Conservative candidate for mayor in the 2020 elections. So Shuan Bailey, fantastic. I think we all have to get behind him, not just because he's a black man, a Windrush descendant, but I think he has some very good policies. There's some I do take issue with, and we'll talk about that later. So first of all, congratulations, Shuan, on becoming the candidate. Two, we really do want to talk to you about some of the issues, and hopefully you can come into the studio at some point and speak to both of us where we can quiz you on the policies that you think that you're going to put forward.
I totally agree with what you said. My congratulations, Shuan. Job well done. The thing is, Shuan, there's one or two comments that that was based on the newspaper recently, and one or two comments that you said. Sort of one of them was sort of the tolerance, the zero tolerance in crime. It's one of the issues I've got. I've got disagreement with certain issues that you said, and also certain things were said about you, which we will comment about. However, as I said, congratulations, well done. We need to see more of our people at the forefront of politics. Congratulations for what you're doing. I hope everybody, and I mean everybody, every black people in this country support this gentleman because of his color of his skin. Call me racist, call it whatever you call me. As far as I'm concerned, that's the very first time in the history of Britain we have a black candidate, second black candidate to run for mayor of Britain. So put your weight behind this gentleman and let's see that he gets there, because he understands the issues, not only the issues of the community, but particularly the issues of our teenagers, the issues of the knife crime, etc., and the difficulties that our children faces. So congratulations, well done. However, we will quiz you. Don't think you'll have an easy ride.
No, he's not going to have an easy ride. But again, I reiterate, well done. But Shuan has just shown that wherever or whoever you are, if you have ambition, you can be a politician. You don't have to go to Eton or Cambridge. An ordinary young man from a council estate, a Windrush descendant, he wasn't born into riches. He knew that his family had to struggle. His parents were divorced, and therefore he was brought up by strong women. In terms of that, he managed to find his feet, qualify as a social worker, and rose to the heights of being one of the officers or one of the critics or one of the advisors, let's put it that way, for David Cameron. David Cameron actually gave him the cold shoulder, and in terms of that, Shuan ran for he was a parliamentary candidate for Hammersmith, didn't win, so therefore his resolve hasn't softened. He still wants to be a politician and serve the people. So he's run for mayor, and hopefully this time he will be successful. Shuan has a way of talking to young people. He's a youth worker. He set up his own youth charity, and in terms of that, I think he will be good for London. After the mayor that we have at the moment, I think anything, and I'm not saying Shuan is anything, but any change that can be made would be welcome. We've spoken, or Mr. Holder or Ashburn has spoken about Shuan's policies, i.e. zero tolerance. do not exactly agree with that. Why is that?
Well, let's go back to what we as Caribbean libertarians are doing, sort of in Redbridge, or this new company, this group we just recently opened. This is one of the things we want to set up. We want to set up more black communities to come into politics,
Yes.
so they can see Shuan as the example
Exactly.
to what they can achieve and what they can do. There's no barriers whatsoever. And as Norma said, you don't need to have a degree, you don't have to doctor, you don't need nothing of the sort to be interested in politics. Anybody can be a politician if they want to. Anybody can be a councillor. So this is one of the issues that we will be addressing. We'll be having conferences, seminars for the black community to come in and get involved so they can actually get to the level as Shuan. However, coming back to our present mayor of London, he said that he's going to adopt the Scottish model, the Glasgow model,
yeah.
and he's going to interject lots of cash to make sure this model works. Now, we spoke about this briefly last week. What I'd like to see the mayor, so we want to hold the mayor accountable to what he said. You said that. So far, we have seen nothing. We haven't seen any form of interjection of money. We haven't seen anything publicly said. It's just his words and nothing constructive have been done. So why is that? Why have you taken so long to start something? You're going to go, what, 2 more years in office?
Just 2 more years, yeah. With over 100 youths being killed on the streets of London as a result of knife crime.
Unemployment.
Yeah, and all he does is say that he's going to do something. We don't want people that are going to do something. We want people that are active, that actually do things, make a difference, make a real difference.
Absolutely.
Because if you just talk and you can't walk the walk, what is the point?
Absolutely. Totally agree with what Norma said. You made a promise. You have said it publicly. We are asking you to actually deliver.
Sort of deliver.
Yes.
That's it.
Right. We want you to deliver what you said. That's what we want. And that's what Norma and I are saying. We want delivery. But coming back to Shuan Bailey, he's a black man, 1. 2, do you think Londoners will vote for him? What do you think? We would like to hear your opinion on that. Please come back to us and tell us your views. Do you think Shuan Bailey has got a chance in London to become the next mayor? We want to hear your say. Will you vote for him? And if you vote for him, what do you expect him to deliver? You see, expectation is one of the things, sort of the problem that we face is like Obama. The expectation was Obama would deliver whatever the Americans was asking for. Now, we have got another black person running for office, and the emphasis will be he's black and he'll deliver. Now, don't forget, Shuan represents everybody in the United Kingdom. Everybody in London. He's got to cater for everybody.
Exactly.
Do you believe, we're asking you, please come back to us and tell us, do you think Shuan will deliver what we as black people is asking? Do you think he's going to deliver knife crime? Will he reduce on that? Because his take on that, Norma, he said zero tolerance. So, are you happy with this, that Shuan Bailey will introduce zero tolerance as a parent, as a youth, as a teenager? Come back to us, ring us and tell us, do you think this is the right way forward? We're here to receive your calls or your comments.
In addition to that, if you cannot ring, but you can use the internet, we do have an email address, which is onlyjustthetruth@gmail.com. So if you have any questions for us, please send us an email. We will answer every single question. And if we don't know how to answer a question, we'll find somebody that can.
Do you honestly believe that we put it too much emphasis because of he's a black person? Do you think that because he's a black person that he's going to deliver what you're expecting? So please come back to us. Let's hear your views. Do you think he's got the right attitude towards our teenagers, our people? Zero tolerance is what the man said. So the police will have so much powers. Is this the right coalition that we need to bring a connection between the police and the black community?
The thing is, zero tolerance doesn't always work because the police tend to be thuggish in terms of employing this zero tolerance policy. We want something new. Okay, zero tolerance has been tried before and it has not been effective. We are looking for Mr. Bailey, Shuan Bailey, to deliver once he's in office in 2020. In order to deliver what you want, he needs to hear from you exactly what you want so he can shape his policies for London to your benefit. The politicians do not work alone. They're there for you. We've said this before on this program, that the politicians are there for you. They are there to enact what you want. So therefore, they need to hear from you. And if they do not want, they can't hear from you, we are a voice. We are advocates on your behalf to put the message across. Some people are fearful of politicians. Some people are fearful of approaching anybody in authority. Let me tell you, they are just people, just like me and you and Mr. Holder here. Two arms, two legs. So therefore, what is the fear factor? Approach them. Tell them what you want, and let's get it done.
Absolutely. Totally agree with what Norma said. Caribbean Libertarians is a group that we want to intercheck, have forums about about how to become a politician. Just truth is what we do. We'll train you to sort of how to present yourself, how to get involved. However, let's go back to the mayor. I've got concern about this zero tolerance. This zero tolerance, I don't think, is the way forward. This is my take on this. My take, we're looking for community policing. We need more black policing. We need more Africans and island Caribbean police officers that understands the issues and how to communicate with our children.
I know we need them. I totally agree with you. We need more ethnic police officers.
Absolutely.
But when the police have actually been deemed as being institutionally racist, they're not necessarily inviting. So therefore, how can we get over this institutionalized racism so that we can actually train people to be policemen?
Right.
Like community police officers, okay, fine. Being a part of the Metropolitan Police, you know, has a stigma to it. So therefore, what can be done? Sorry, I haven't quite finished. Okay. First of all, one thing, that when the Metropolitan Police are trying to encourage people to come into the police force, the first thing they do is lower the standards, lower the entry rates, lower the standards, etc. I think Cressida Dick has done that recently in terms of accepting police candidates or that have tattoos. Okay, if you have a tattoo, you have a tattoo, as long as it's not written all the way across your face when you're approaching somebody in that kind of office. But to lower the standards to get more ethnic people into the police force, I think is wrong.
Totally agree.
Because, you know, we are educated. That you don't have to weaken or lessen your standards.
That's demoralizing us.
For us to actually be a member of the Metropolitan Police.
Totally
so,
agree.
You know, please, if you think that you can make a difference to your community, not necessarily to London, to your community, do something about it. Apply. Okay, you may have to get over the racism barrier. We all do. That's nothing new. But, you know, be strong. It's your community. It's not theirs.
Totally agree with what Norma said. Just to expand a little bit more into what Norma said about community policing. We as a community, the white community, don't understand the issues we have. They don't understand our culture. And it's one of the things that we fail to realize is that we have a culture that has been inserted into us from the time we were children. You can't compare the white culture to the same as our culture. Our culture is different. It's discipline. We had certain discipline when we were sort of brought up as children. Our parents discipline us to a certain level. Whereas all this disciplinary that we had has been taken away from parents. And now it's been sort of taken over by the system. The system discipline our children. What we as parents in our days, when our parents discipline us, maybe it may be a slap, maybe it may be whatever we did. It wasn't sort of brutality discipline. It was a loving discipline that our parents gave us. I had 1 or 2 slaps when I was a kid. I'm sure you two had 1 or 2 slaps.
Not many.
However, It's a form of discipline that we have, and I'm sure it's in the African community as well. Our discipline from our parents is a loving discipline. Now, I'm not saying there isn't issues where they've gone beyond discipline. I accept that. It's a percentage where it's gone, ridiculous.
I think you're thinking of tough love. Is that what you're trying to
Put it
to
down
actually...
into tough luck or whatever it is. But there is a form of discipline, I think that. So when the police is now given zero tolerance and discipline our children, and they use their batons on us, they use spray into our children's face,
The pepper
and
spray.
all this sort of brutality, they call that discipline. Whereas they've taken the discipline from us, which is a loving discipline, to a police system discipline.
State discipline.
So, how could we have this coalition between the police when we have zero tolerance? That doesn't work, as Norma said. This is one of my issues I've got with Shuan Bailey. I'd love him to come and say to us, how does that work? Because the distrust between the community, the black community and the police has diminished. It's no longer there.
There isn't any trust.
Right.
Definitely.
So how are we going to do that? My take on this, and I want everybody to have their opinion. Please come back to us and tell us your take on this. Do we need more black police officers from Africans and Caribbeans? Do we need more sort of group leaders to get involved? Do we need mentors within the Africans and the Caribbean community to actually take on that role so that they can bring our children in the right direction and to work together with the police so that we can have this sort of balance or this communication or this sort of barrier of this distrust between the two communities. So is zero tolerance really the issue? Is the answer, sorry. I personally don't think zero tolerance is the answer. I think we need good community policing.
Yes.
We need policing that can talk to our community, policing that can go to schools and talk to our children. And the other thing that gives me great concern is when the police stop our children, we want the police to treat our children like children. So when you stop them, treat them with the respect that they deserve as a child. Don't stop our children as a grown-up. Because the majority of sort of cases we get or people we talk to, they tend to think the police is aggressive and the police is this. Treat children as children. That's one. So if you treat them as children, they'll respect you as children. Don't show them aggressiveness as you sort of stop them. When they're detained in the local stations, we want you to respect them. Show them there's no fear. There's nothing to be frightened about. Don't treat them hostility, because that's the first thing that come in. Make sure you contact the parents and let the parents know they're there.
Or you say parents or a responsible adult.
Absolutely. Well, again, I disagree with the responsible adult because the police have responsible adults which they themselves use. I'm not happy with this. I want a responsible adult that's independent to the police.
Yes.
Right? And I want their parents to be notified and make these children you have detained feel comfortable. So therefore, when they come out, they can go to friends and say, the police was quite nice and friendly to me.
Yeah, nothing to fear.
Yeah, nothing to fear. I wasn't pressurized. I wasn't questioned without my parents was there or a solicitor was there. So what we want as well is independent solicitors. We don't want solicitors that the police use. We want the police to be independent, get an independent police sort of solicitor, which is used by this person's family. They've been detained.
So you're saying no to duty solicitors?
Absolutely. Yeah. We also want the police not to talk to these children under no circumstances. Nowhere interview them without a solicitor present. That is very important because when they sort of interview our children without a solicitor, our children start to talk because they're frightened and they're scared and the whole thing gets...
Yeah, but the police know that.
That's why they take advantage
part of the tactics.
So we don't want that. That needs to stop. So we're trying to bring a coalition between the police community and our black community. We would like to hear your take on that. Please contact us on Just Truth.
The email address is onlyjustthetruth@gmail.com. Please contact us with your queries, as Ashburn said, with your questions, and we'll do our best to answer them. So therefore, I'm just going to reiterate once again, well done, Shuan Bailey. We're watching you. Our eyes are on you. Okay?
Can I just come back to Shuan again? Shuan, I'm sorry, I'll come back to you, afraid. I noticed I read in the papers where there's a comment was said about you where you talk about the Muslim community. And there was a comment where I think lots of people are saying he's racist or something like this.
Yes.
Well, I don't think under no circumstances Sean is racist, in my view. If we go back into history, whenever anybody sort of has been nominated of color into any form of position, they find all sorts of scenarios to discredit you or to make something out of nothing. However, if we go back to Gandhi, before you say that Sean is racist towards the Muslim community or the Indian community or the Asian community, whatever you want to call yourself, let's go back to Gandhi. In the days of Gandhi is been classified. That's the word. If you read the book, don't take that from me. Go and do the research. Gandhi, what did Gandhi call the black South Africans at the time? How did he compare the black South Africans to the Indians? The Indians was much more sophisticated than our black brothers and sisters. But yet, he was a leader, wasn't he? He did a great job. Everybody praised him in history now. He's one of the best thing going. So, is Shuan Bailey really racist when he said that when he in sort of what, 20 or 5? When he was young, immature? Was Gandhi, when he said that, was young and immature, hasn't realized what he said. So, balance the two and see who's racist.
But I think Gandhi went even further, didn't he? He had a term for black people, African Kafirs.
Kafirs.
And in terms of that, he wanted Indians and the Asian population separated in South Africa from black people.
Absolutely.
So therefore, racist Gandhi said something when he was young. It's been forgiven, and now he's a great leader.
Right.
So therefore, whatever Sean said in 2005, when he was a lot more immature, he's been shaped, and now you see him as he is, the man. And he shouldn't be lambasted for what he said in 2005. It was a quip, it was a comment, it was his views then. It's not necessarily his views now. So Sean, we're behind you.
Absolutely.
We're watching for you.
Go out and vote for the man. Go out and get this man in power.
Yeah, we're hoping you do the right thing. And
put your weight behind him, support him, and give him all the help that he needs.
Yes, yeah, totally.